And welcome everyone. We are excited to join you today because this is our premiere chat with the candidates. As you all know, we have recently launched a PAC after a successful campaign, and our PAC is Serbian-American Voters Alliance. In partnership with Serbian Radio Chicago, we are in fact going to be scouting for wonderful candidates that are running for political offices around the country. And this is our first candidate chat, and I am so pleased to have a very special guest today because she comes from our own community. She is Serbian American, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to learn about her and to start this series of candidate chats with somebody from our own ranks. Her name is Kristina Irwin, and she comes from California. She is running for LA City Council. It's going to be a great time for us to get to know her, follow her campaign, and hopefully as a community, get together, get behind her, and support her. Kristina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Olga. My pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you're Serbian American, which we're so excited when we can support our own people running for political offices. Tell us about your journey and how come you got to this challenging endeavor to run for LA City Council.
Well, Irwin is my married name. My maiden name is Mirajic. So I was born in Belgrade. I came here with my parents at 3 years old. They, escaped how it was in former Yugoslavia. They were not happy. They came here, they had to relearn everything, the language, they knew very little English. Of course, they spoke Serbian, and they had to learn their professions and just a new world, basically. That's a new community, new people. So it was very hard, and watching them grow up, I always saw a sense of pride in them. I always saw, the love for their country, their home country, and the love for here, for America. So they're an inspiration. I mean, to this day, they're my heroes. And I think what inspired me was seeing how they did everything for me and my sister. They escaped communism and they came here. And now I have 3 children, and seeing how things are getting pretty bad, very bad here in America, in California, where I am, that inspired me to run, because I want to do this for not only for my children, but for their children, for our communities. This is something important, and I feel that I'm the right person to step up.
So you are a mom, you are a wife, you are an immigrant woman, you are a business owner. Tell us about the situation in California and in Los Angeles in particular. I am here in Florida, and just in terms of even us dealing with COVID, we have 2 different states, 2 different outcomes, 2 different governors, and populations that are close in size. So how are you guys dealing with that?
We are dealing very poorly. We have thankfully over 2 million signatures for recalling Gavin Newsom, our governor. So that is great, because the way he has dealt with this pandemic and the lockdowns, the school shutdowns, my kids have been out of school and on Zoom classes for 1 year. 1 year started yesterday. So it's, we have enough from the Democrat Party, from the Republican Party. It's basically, it's a party of, we're fed up with this, how he's handled it. And so we've put in the votes, the people have spoken, things are kind of picking up here where I am in California and Los Angeles. The schools are still shut down, but they are having a few talks that schools might be open next month in April. We'll see how that goes. It's not going to be full time, unfortunately, maybe 2 days a week. Businesses, some are slowly opening up, about 10%, 20% capacity. Restaurants, you can finally eat inside starting today. So that was great. Unfortunately, we still have to wear masks. So that's, it's not one of those decisions where, I feel it should be, if you want to, it's your decision. It's your personal decision. And if you feel like you're safe with one, definitely wear one. You don't want to wear one, you shouldn't have to wear one. But a lot of things are being imposed here, and hopefully it's lifting up, but we'll see. It's been tough. It's not.
Now, we've followed LA, of course. We also follow San Francisco. We follow big cities in California. And you mentioned in your campaign profile that you are somebody who is looking to deal with homelessness. Now, we know the dire situation in San Francisco. We also know the situation in Los Angeles. What are your plans and what is actually going on? Why is this so difficult to deal with, and why haven't our elected leaders been able to manage these districts that they've been elected to for many, many decades, but the situation keeps getting worse and worse?
You know, homeless here now has gotten out of control. It's grown exponentially for the past year, especially with COVID. And you know, we all can play our part, especially the politicians. I don't understand why they've let it get so bad. I know they have ways to do this, and you know, some have tried build these little tiny houses where they are charging, you know, the taxpayers a lot of money for this. And personally, I don't know if that's going to work, because some of these homeless people, they do. You know, we have to call it for what it is. Some do have mental issues that they treated with, and some just don't want to. Some want to live on the street. They like it. Other people don't. They want to get up and rebuild their lives and move on and be pillars in the community. But what's happening here is just, it keeps growing. And I feel like a lot of the politicians are just looking away, going on with their business. And it's sad. It's a sad situation. It's dangerous. You know, it's a public safety issue. It's a mental health issue. And it's a health issue in regards to not only COVID, but other diseases. When someone's living on the street, there's other diseases. There's, you know, bubonic plague that's inhabiting downtown right now, and a lot of other typhoid, things that shouldn't be here that are coming back from the Middle Ages, and it's sad.
Interesting. Now, you've mentioned that there is a potential for recall of Governor Gavin Newsom. There's a big petition, I believe today I saw it's up to 2 million signatures. What is the deadline for this, and when do we expect that this could in fact take place, if at all?
Well, the deadline, I don't know for certain. I'm pretty sure it's around mid to end of April when it will be, you know, all the votes will be verified and counted. And I believe from what I'm hearing, it will be on the ballots for people to vote on either in September or October.
Okay, now tell me about LA and the seat that you are specifically running for. What is the candidate landscape looking like? Who are you up against? And what are the concrete things that you are looking for, especially from our own community? Serbian Americans are in fact central to that Los Angeles area, and I feel that we can get a lot of traction and get you some support. So what are we up against?
That would be great. Well, what we're up against, basically, what I'm dealing with in District 5, Los Angeles District 5, is the same story. And if people want the same, you know, then I'm not your person. I'm not your candidate. I'm here to make a change. I'm not here to end homelessness. That's going to take many years and that's my goal, but that will take a lot of time. I'm here to stop wasting our money as taxpayers. I'm here to help the homeless, to do something for them, not just throw money at them and give them tents and shelters. I want to help them, you know, whether it's vocational school or triage. That is my goal. So I'm here to make a change and make a difference. The community I have in District 5 is parts of, it goes all the way Encino, and then it skips some. So it covers Pico Robertson area, it covers Hollywood, it covers Bel Air, Century City, Melrose. It's very strange the way the district has mapped itself, but it skips a few and goes on, but that's basically the areas I cover. It's very big, District 5.
Okay, and what are your thoughts in terms of other candidates? Who are you up against? Have they announced yet?
There's about 5 running, and you know, they're basically I want to say career politicians. They're running on this same platform that we've seen today. You know, Paul Peretz is being termed out, and I'm hoping to take his seat. Like I said, I'm here to make a change. This is not a Democrat thing. This is not a Republican thing. This is our community. Our community matters. It's not okay to have the homeless infiltrate the parks where our kids go to school. It's not safe for our kids. It's not safe for adults. It's not safe for the homeless. You know, there's like
Understood.
public safety, it's mental health, all these things. And they're running on the same campaign of, you know, do everything the same.
Now, talk about as a business owner, of course, and as a woman, how has this past year affected businesses precisely in your area? Because you mentioning the areas that you are covering, I'm assuming there's a lot of people there who can handle it. We're talking about some very affluent communities there, but elsewhere people are struggling. So how has your economy handled this situation, and are people truly feeling it in those areas, or they are still imposing certain restrictions on small business owners, and meanwhile they have the means to in fact carry this for a long time?
Not necessarily. I mean, the restrictions are still there. There are some people that have poured their savings and their heart and their souls into their businesses, and they're just business rich. They, you know, some still live in modest houses or apartments, but their business is their livelihood. And when that's taken away by all these restrictions and lockdowns, they can't do much. Lots of businesses here in LA have closed. I mean, sure, it's an affluential area, but also you have to understand the businesses, it doesn't matter if they're in Beverly Hills, if they're in Century City, they still, you know, every business is essential, every person is essential. And, you know, they need to open this up. With all these restrictions, people, it's hard to pull your kids out of LAUSD, you know, and get them into private schools while also your business is shut down, while also your restaurant has these restrictions, when, you know, people are afraid to go to a hair salon. Lots of business, you know, people that I know own salons, and they can't even, it's very difficult. They're struggling.
Sure. Now, talk to me about one final issue, and we have seen this across the country, and of course, LA is an epicenter of it often. There's been calls for defunding the police. Now, I understand this is also a state's issue, but it also becomes a city issue. How has LA dealt with this? I mean, we have seen some protests in the past year. We all have witnessed what's been going on around the cities. How is LA playing a part in this?
LA is playing a big part in this. A lot of people are wanting to defund the police. And, you know, there was something in the paper where they were talking about letting a lot of police officers go that were supposed to be stationed at schools. And this is not safe for our communities. This is not safe for the children. A lot of kids, when you have the police officers there at the schools, they grow up seeing these officers put their lives on the line daily, and this is something of a respect. And when you take these police officers out of schools, it's not safe. It teaches them something else, that police officers, you know, don't have a hard job. I mean, the things they do now, it's so difficult. They walk a tight line. You know, it's hard. They can't do their job, and when they do their job, they get railroaded. So it's very difficult. LA has taken an approach of, some people want to defund the police, some people want to defend the police. It's a very tricky issue, and it's a very sensitive one. It's pretty heated here.
It's heated, just like for the rest of the country. We have become a very polarized nation, and that of course reflects on our cities. Now, Kristina, anything we've missed in this first chat, anything that you would like to tell our audience and of course our voters that are hopefully going to come out and support you?
Yes, well, you know, being an immigrant, that's very important to me to have the support of my people. I would appreciate that very much. And my website, KristinaIrwin.com. I just want everyone to know, even though I am running for District 5, I still will hold in committees as a chairperson or an appointee to other subcommittees, which are influential in making policies and decisions in other communities that will affect eventually other, cities and maybe even states. It depends. So you're not just voting for me for the district, even if you don't live there. You're not just donating to me even if you don't live there. This is for the greater good. This is for our people, our communities. This is to make LA safer. This is to make it better. It's to make it change.
Excellent. Well, Kristina, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you everybody for tuning in to our first candidate chat with Serbian American Voters Alliance in partnership with Serbian Radio Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you.